Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video today, and I've decided I'm in the mood to do more videos lately. I'm just kind of like, why not? And I have a lot of things to say. I just feel like doing it because I haven't really felt like I was in the mood to do them for several months, I think. I don't know primarily why that was, but I'm in kind of a mood to do them again and not really care, just depending on if I have something to talk about that certain day or whatnot. But this one is kind of about something that I've been thinking about, which I'll probably talk about on my podcast, which hasn't gone as well lately because I haven't done a lot of episodes the last few weeks for whatever reason. I've been practicing a lot of music. I'm actually in another band now, which is actually a cover band, but it may turn into an original band, or part of it might, or something, or it may fold into my other project. I wouldn't be surprised, like kind of join forces and do a lot of my songs and stuff. But it's pretty fun because I get to learn Yngwie Malmsteen and Rainbow and UFO and all sorts of old folky, Black Chevy Impala metal and AOR and butt rock songs that I like, because I like that kind of stuff, so I decided to keep going with this project because it's so much fun. Play a early Def Leppard song too from the first album, or two of them actually. I don't know why. How we chose two early Def Leppard songs, but it's fun. That's what matters. Hopefully people like it. I don't really care. I was gonna put my all into this shit because I just like to do it. So I practice a lot. I've been learning a lot of stuff and been trying to practice a lot of music. But speaking of old music and old people, sort of older-ish people, I've heard a lot of these terrible clips and seen these terrible videos of John Bon Jovi the past few months, and it's heartbreaking for the fans that are paying these ridiculous amounts to go to these shows. And that's really what I have to say today, is that plain and simple, Bon Jovi should retire, and he is not doing his fans a service by continuing to go on the road singing like how he's been doing. And he kind of like backwards rationalizes mental gymnastics by saying, well, hey, it's live, this is all live, I see these clips of him talking about how it's all live. Like, okay, well, that's good. I mean, you're dissing Kiss and dissing Dream Theater allegedly by saying it's all live. At least it's not backing tapes. That's cool. That's one win that you've had with this whole thing. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know. The first clips I saw from like April of him singing some of these classic songs, I was like, I could not even believe that someone actually went on stage and sang like that. And people are like, people are defending Bon Jovi. Oh, he's gold. His voice isn't what it was. But none of us are. I mean, have you seen Glenn Danzig or Manowar or fucking even like Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford? Yeah, they've lost a little bit of it, but not. I mean, Bruce Dickinson sounds a little bit strange at times now, but like it's nothing compared. It's not even a minuscule amount of comparison to how bad Bon Jovi sounds nowadays. Same with Don Dokken. I mean, he sounds terrible too, but at least Don Dokken's on time. Like the timing, like the Bon Jovi stuff was just bizarre. Like he had a stroke or something. Like it was like, what the fuck is going on here? And people probably say, "What have you done, Matt?" Well, I wouldn't go on stage without knowing a solo, like or with like hacking through a solo. Well, I've done that before, I'll admit. I've hacked through some solos. Dream Theater's Under Glass Moon we used to play in one of my former bands, and I really did not play as well as I could have, as far as that goes. It's a fucking hard song. But let's just do this comparison. Like, would Edward Van Halen, would his fans excuse him playing? Like, let's see, he played, somehow his hand, God forbid, rest in peace, but his hand got cut off, and he had a stump, and he couldn't like tap normally anymore, so he just played 2 notes for solos, and then he like played like with this weird contraption for chords, but he only played like a couple of notes of the solo. Like, that's the equivalent of the vocal, the guitar equivalent of what Bon Jovi is having to do. Luckily, I'm a guitarist, so guitarists usually don't have these types of issues as much as like singers do. I do a little bit of singing too, and I want to do more actually in the future. But these singers just he's only 60. The thing is, he's only 60 years old. And I say only because some of these guys are like 67, 68, 70, 75. Glenn Hughes is like up there. I think he's like 75 or something like that, or maybe even older than that. He was in Deep Purple in like the early to mid set, like 73. He joined Deep Purple, and it's fucking, and he sounds amazing. Now, I think Bon Jovi is a total, and I hate to bring politics into this, but he's a total NPC kind of, establishment guy, and it's annoying to hear him talk about stuff like politically and stuff, or he hangs out. I'm thinking of Bruce Springsteen too, like hanging out with Obama or something, but like it's just like kind of irritating. Like some of that stuff is just really annoying to me nowadays. For some reason, I'm more triggered by that. But he does give to charity or whatever, allegedly, and all this stuff. But whatever, the fact of the matter is, it's delusional to go up there. And this goes for Paul Stanley, who does not even sound as bad as Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi's the worst. Okay, so you have like David Coverdale, and then lower than that is Paul Stanley. I'm talking about like the best to worst, like of the singers that can't sing anymore. David Coverdale is like the top, because he could still arouse an energy, at least, that even if it comes out sounded like some screeching black metal with his screams, like for real, like Still of the Night, it reminded me of like some kind of like Varg Vikernes scream a couple of times, like Still the it's like Bruce Dickinson on Live After Death when he tried to do Flight of Icarus. It's pretty funny. Like, it's the same kind of thing. Like, at least there's an energy there with David Coverdale. And another thing about David Coverdale is there's humility, because he has another singer helping him out now, and this is going to become a trend. Mark my words, this is going to become a trend for these older guys. They're going to get someone to help out, another singer to help out on stage, while they might be strumming a guitar during the song, playing a tambourine, and singing some of the parts or singing some of the songs. The first time I saw this was Manila Road, because Manila Road and Mark Shelton was the singer guitarist, but he decided to get another singer. He sang like 2 or 3 songs, but his voice was ravaged from smoking or whatever, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, that's going to become the trend. I knew at that moment this is good. I was like, yeah, I put the pieces together. Gamma Ray did the same thing. Kai Hansen did the same thing. But Bon Jovi, no. Oh no, he's got to sing all the words, or other than the background vocals. And he has to sing all this stuff. It sounds so awful. It's like the main insult to injury thing is not the fact that he's trying up. It's not even the fact that he's up there trying, or not really trying. I don't know what the deal is, but what adds insult to injury are those concert ticket prices. He's charging an arm and leg to go see Bon Jovi. It's like, it's just such a sham, and it's just like, I've seen Richie Sambora clips to just like blow it away, even from like this year. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not this. And why am I talking about Bon Jovi? Bon Jovi. Okay, so the story with me and Bon Jovi is that was the first hard rock I liked, actually, when I was 10 years old, or 10 years old. I was 8 years old, and I had my mom or whatever buy me Slippery When Wet. It was like I played air guitar to it. It was my first hard rock. The first rock I liked. I'm dating myself here, of course, the first rock I really liked was the Back to the Future soundtrack, because I wanted to be Marty McFly and skate and play guitar and shit, But anyways, that was the first time. But that was the second thing. And then the third one was Transformers the movie, the animated version, because they had some AOR hair metal hard rock on there that I liked. And then finally, I think I liked In Excess or something for a while. Like, just like I started to listen to all sorts of different stuff a little bit. Not all sorts of, a few different bands. And then I got into Iron Maiden, it was all over after that. But anyways, that's a whole other story. But yeah, Bon Jovi, it's just like, it's just, I just have to say it about this. This is the problem with people like Bon Jovi. And I'll probably talk about this in my podcast too. It's one thing to have problems vocally. You know, we all know that Bruce Dickinson doesn't sound like he used to. Rob Halford. Rob Halford's actually kind of surprised me in the last couple of years, though. Another surprise is Jeff Tate. He's actually 75 to 80% there when you would never expect it in the last couple of years. I even saw a show, and there were no backing tapes. Trust me, not that I know. There were vocal backing tapes. You could tell that, but none with him, because he'd move the mic and you wouldn't hear him and stuff like that. It's unless he timed it that well. I doubt it. So if you're 75% there or 80% there, even 60% there at times, okay, there's a legitimate argument. You can say, okay, keep going on the road, keep singing on albums, keep singing and stuff. Not, you can do a lot of it in the studio too. But if you're 20% or 10% there, it's time to fucking retire. And this is a problem with this whole rock, like, nostalgia thing. There was a book written about this whole subject too, like the death of rock. What the fuck is it called? I'll talk about it maybe later on my podcast. But it's like about the death of rock. So okay, well, rock is dying. My nephew's in this fucking like pretty big band that plays rock. He's like a lot younger than me. There's Swedish rock revival I talk about. There's Finnish band I heard yesterday. They're very, very 80s sounding band. But it was like one, what the hell was it called? One Step or some shit. I forgot what it was called. But, it's like there are bands doing good stuff and they're a lot younger. But these guys are, I hate to say it, but a lot of these guys, especially if you can't do it anymore, you're getting in the way. You're pulling, this, like, let's say one of my favorite bands from right now. Forgot to get this for this video. One of my favorite bands right now is this band. This band right here, And if Bon Jovi is playing an arena and they're playing some small club in the same town, where are people going to go? They're going to go to the Bonfoni, as Ralph Vieira calls them. They're going to go to that show and see this like horrible atrocity when they can see this younger, actually very not super young anymore, but younger rock band that rivals a lot of that stuff from the 80s, and that's the problem with these bands. They just keep going on and on. They're sucking the life away from younger bands in a way, this whole legacy moment. Now a good thing would be for them to tour together and stuff. That would, if he went on tour with Bon Jovi, or bands like that. But Bon Jovi doesn't tour with hard rock bands, I guess. He hates like his whole hair metal era, supposedly, or whatever. Fucking what a douchebag. That's so stupid. But yeah, so there's a lot of bands that don't get the recognition they deserve because all the attention's on these old bands. So why not? It's time to retire. It's time to pass the torch. Rock is not dead by any means. I don't give a fuck what Gene Simmons says. Rock is not dead. There's so many bands that are around. I hear more about them every day, and this is like the best one to me. But they're around. But it's like I keep hearing about newer bands and newer sounds and stuff. I mean, it's like people think, oh, it's old. Yeah, it's an old time thing now, rock and roll or metal or whatever. It's like fucking bullshit. There's like thrash bands in their teens that are coming up, and they don't all play like just this cliched like retro nostalgia shit either. I mean, in fact, I would say Heat in general, like a band like that, is not thrash, but the AOR, hard rock, whatever you want to call them, hair metal or whatever. Not like crazy licks, but like a little different than that. But they sound old, but they also sound new. The production's newer. Listen to Into the Great Unknown, an album like that. It sounds like some people compared it to a few people compared it to Muse, or what the fuck do they compare it to? I mean, there's a couple of parts that have that kind of, what is Jared Leto's band? I forgot what it's called, but that wasn't their best album by their own admission, but like they are little sprinklings of more modern stuff, in those Heat albums, even though they do sound like it's timeless stuff. But yeah, Bon Jovi fucking singing like he's croaking over on stage. It's a abomination of music. It's awful. And these guys like David Coverdale, I think he's seen the fucking light. He knows that he doesn't want to give a bad performance anymore. He's tried, tuned down to fucking whatever 3 steps or whatever the hell they're at now. He's tried. He's actually tried really hard. Now on the converse side, maybe some of these guys are a little lazy and a little bit too full of themselves. I'm not saying David Coverdale, to really get into like actually expanding their voice and like getting vocal training and like getting like therapy for it. Like Tom Kiefer. I heard Tom Kiefer works on his voice an hour and a half a day because he had to have like surgery. He was losing his voice like really bad, like 2 or 3 times or something, like 10, 15 years ago. And he had all this surgery, and I go on YouTube, watch like Cinderella or fucking Tom Kiefer, talking about all these hair farmers. But I see Tom Kiefer, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, wait a second, I pick up my guitar. What's that song? Somebody Save Me, or whatever the fuck it's called. I was like, oh wait, this is from 2015 or 2017 or something. Let's see. Open, standard tuning guitar. Holy shit, he's actually tuning the regular key that was in. I'm like really shocked and surprised by that. But the guy works his ass off by his own admission. But a lot of these singers won't do that. They just have all these yes men around. They have all these people that are saying, "Oh, we love you, Mr. Bon Jovi. You can do whatever you want up there." It's almost like, I hate to. This is going to sound really bad, but it's almost like the vocal version of Joe Biden. Seeing him up there. And like Bon Jovi's not that old, and something happened. It'll come out. He's not that old. He's 60 years old is nothing compared to a lot of things nowadays. Obviously, blowing out your voice year after year on stage, and that is a different story. Of course, it's like an athlete, but 60 is not that old for a singer. I think Eric Adams is like 65 or 70 or some shit, and Bruce Dickinson's up there too. I mean, they don't sound that bad. I mean, and David Coverdale's itching up way up higher than that. I think he is 70, but it's like he already had vocal problems in the 80s, and you can tell that his voice did degrade over time. It got really more hoarse and stuff, but at least he admits it, and at least he had the humility of getting another singer to help out, and he could do that. He could record like low-key solo albums, with some not that many screams and stuff, and he has the humility to actually see that shit. With Kai Hansen, it's the same way. I think Kai Hansen just knew, and I like that last Gamma Ray album, and I like the Halloween performances too, but he was like, yeah, my voice is going, I probably need to get another singer. But Bon Jovi, no, he's got to be Bon Jovi. It's like, fucking, what the hell is this shit? It's like, it's terrible. It's worse than Dokken. Dokken's just this monotone guy, but at least it's like in time, and you can hear what words he's saying. The kiss of death, she promised paradise that she lied upon her bed. Yeah, if only that situation didn't happen, similar situations like that. But that's about all.